Hi, my name is Dr. Katrin Meidell, and I'm the viola professor at the Schwab School of Music at Columbus State University in Columbus, Georgia. This is a tutorial on the 2024 GMEA All-State Etude for 11th and 12th grade. But unlike in previous years where I've gone through the entire etude, I'm just going to give you a couple of helpful hints and then I'll perform the etude. But if you want to get all the inside knowledge, you'll have to come down to Viola Day, which is happening here at CSU on October 12th. And in addition to fabulous recitals and master classes with our guest artist, Eric Wong, I'm doing a full tutorial workshop on this etude. So come on down and you get to learn all the other helpful hints that I have. But until then, let's talk about the following ideas. All right, so there's a couple of things that you really want to keep in mind for this etude. The first and most important is to keep your eyes moving forward. So if you are looking at the note that you're playing, you are behind. Your eyes should continually be ahead of what you're physically doing so that your brain has time to process and prepare for what comes next. There's a lot of fancy stuff going on the left side and then a lot of fancy stuff going on the right side. So keeping your eyes ahead so that you know when you have a string crossing, when you have a shift, when you have a fifth, etc. Is really, really important. All right, so let's talk about the stroke. There are two ways of doing this, and I am going to tell you both of them, and I think it's up to you and if you have a teacher to decide which one is correct. I'm choosing the one that I'm choosing because I think it sounds better, and in the end I think that's what music is about how it sounds. So the way that I don't suggest is keeping the bow super in the string. So we get the after like 3 measures of that, I don't want to hear that anymore personally. So I'm doing more of a spiccato type stroke. So that's what I'm going to break down for you. To my ear, that sounds a lot more pleasant than the other one. So that's what I've decided. So you want to be creating these little circles with your fingers. So I'll do that a little bit closer to the camera. So the fingers are bringing the frog up into my hand. That's that stroke. And before you even try doing this with the left hand and all the fancy stuff it has to do, I very highly encourage you to practice on open strings so you can really isolate the right side and get the fingers working. So it's really important that all of your fingers are round. So notice the way my thumb is curving inward. Sometimes you see people with this kind of a bow thumb, and this is not going to help you. So the thumb acts like a shock absorber, and if it's locked, it can't absorb any shock. So this motion is only accessible if your fingers are round. So practicing these circles with your fingers will be a really great exercise for the stroke that is necessary to play this etude. A quick note on fingering. For the most part, the fingering in the etude is as it should be. Like, you can't really do anything other than what is written. However, measure 5 is the exception here. So this etude was originally written for violin, and as you know, violins are smaller than violas, and it's easier to extend a 4th finger up to like second position while staying in first position. That's hard on viola, and I don't think it's especially healthy. So I avoid that for myself and for my students. So in measure 5, where they're asking you to stay in first position, but then you can see how I had to sort of like to get that note in tune. That's not comfortable. So instead I'm going to do that measure in second position. And that way everything is in my lovely hand frame that doesn't have to be moderated or adjusted to get that note that doesn't fit within the hand frame. So just to reiterate, in measure 5, I'm in second position, and then I go back to first position in the second beat of measure 6. So in context, this is from measure 4. So you can see that I shifted right there. And then for measure 7, again, I think that this should be a shift into second position instead of a stretch. You can see the way when I'm stretching, I'm kicking my wrist out. This is not healthy, so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do that one more time for measure 4. So these little shifts, they're half-step shifts, so they're not very difficult. It's just a matter of being comfortable, going from first position to second position and back. And that will make that a lot more accessible. And here you go, the Etude number 12 by Mazas.